there's a lot of noise going on this morning. The pupper's been barking a lot. And there's just a lot of general commotion. So, yeah. Give me just a second here. Hi, how you There we go. Let me just... I am chaos this morning. I'm all over the place. I am all over the place. It's been a morning. It has been a morning. It has been a morning. The birds are chirping? Yeah, chirping. That's the word I'm looking for. If you couldn't tell, I'm still very eepy. Still very eepy. I'm still very much in the waking up stages, even though I've been up for like an hour and a half now. Because working. I didn't mean to say that. Chirping. Yeah, it's one of those mornings. Just, I could sleep right here. Just punk out, you know? Like this. But I hope y'all are having a good morning. A less eepy one than I am. Because I'm very eepy. I'm very eepy. I could just sit here all morning. But yeah. The dog has been barking. Pupper has been barking. Because there's been a lot of commotion. For those of y'all who might be in the US, it's the weekend in football season. That means that there's a lot more commotion on than usual. So the pupper's not happy about it. Not at all. Not in the least. So yeah, you may hear him periodically from time to time. I'm gonna go ahead and move my Obus. Obus, you need to move over. And I need to pull up my YouTube. The YouTubins. But yeah, there's a lot of commotion going on. So the result is that Pupper is very... How do you say? Wound up. Yeah. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna get started somehow, some way. With the Live2D, if I can remember how things work. Again, I'm very eepy this morning, so if I say things that are off the wall, just understand that is fueled by a lack of sleep and a lack of coffee. My roommate may or may not be bringing me coffee later. So we'll see. And doop. We are here. We're here back with Pumpkin Kitty. Dave. I did like a minor adjustment thingamadoo earlier before I started stream. I also realized we can't really do much of like the eyeball motion just because of how the eyes are set up, but they can at least blink. So there's that. I would need to like cut to make like the separate like eyelid. But I think it'll be fine. We're gonna go ahead and I don't remember what exactly. So last time I finished with the organizing. We already rigged one eye. We might as well rig the other. I should also probably fix... Yeah, I can hear the cheers for football. American football specifically, not soccer. Because the US is really weird and that football for us is not a small, or actually I guess medium size, black and white ball that gets kicked around. No, football is a ball that you throw and it's oblong shaped. I will never understand that. And I live in the ducking US. I also never really understood the appeal of football, American football specifically. Because like, I don't know. I don't know. It's never been my thing. I was once in marching band, and I never understood why it was people got so hyped for these football games. I was like, okay, I get that we're the band, but I hate having to go to the school football games. I have zero interest in this. I would rather just, you know, play video games or like play actual concerts, or, you know, march on the field. But I'm not a fan of the actual football itself. No, thank you. But I was forced to do it anyway because, you know, that's just it. Unfortunately, you can't have one without the other in this country. If you're a marching band, you're on the football field and you're watching football. So yeah. They run, they kick, and tackle each other. Pretty much. And there's some kind of rules about how that has to happen. I don't know what they are. I spent several years of my life watching it because I had to. But I still do not understand the game. Yet you're kind of forced to watch the game if you're a marching band. I was doing so many things in marching band. There was not a single year that I played the same instruments. The first year I was in marching band, I started out playing the piccolo. Then I moved schools. And then I was playing the bass drum. And then in the concert season of the year, I was playing bass clarinet. And then I was playing xylophone and timpani, which are like, they look like these giant like drums. They have kind of like a boom sound to them. I wish I had a good example of like a song that they're in, but I can't think of any off the top of my head. Baritone sax. Nice! Sax is pretty cool too. And you got the baritone, the bari sax. Yeah, I was very much a woodwind person. However, I got drafted into the percussion because I had the mentality that I was going to be a what do you call? A music professional. I thought I was gonna like tutor kids on like how to play all the instruments. I was like, I'm gonna be a woodwind musician. A professional woodwind musician. That did not happen, spoiler alert. But I was like, yeah, when I got asked every time, what do you play? By the band director, because I moved to like 3 different high schools. Actually 4. Yeah, it was 4. But I only played in 3 of them. So, yeah. The director would ask me, hey, what do you play? I'd be like, what do you need me to play? This duck can play just about anything. Just let me know, and if I need to borrow an instrument, I'll let you know. And that's how I ended up learning how to play all different kinds of things. Because I wanted to be helpful. That was back before I knew I was autistic. You gotta love it. Autism, it affects every part of your life, and then you don't even realize it. Pretty much, give me an instrument, I'll play it. Because honestly, the finger placements for a lot of the instruments are very similar. Like, for example, clarinet and flute, even though they're in different keys, the flute is in C, the clarinet is in B flat, unless you have... Actually, no, I think that the bass clarinet is also... No, I think that might be E flat. But anyway, they're in different keys, technically, but the finger placement for those specific keys are the same. So, like, a high D on the clarinet, you have, like, your left thumb down on the hole. You have the index, middle, and ring finger on your left hand. And then you have your index, middle, and ring on your right down. All 7 of those fingers are down. And then on flute, it's the exact same. They're in different keys, so they are not actually the same note, even though they're both D. but they're the same finger placement for that specific named note. It's kind of interesting. And I know it's very similar for sax. I mean, I haven't ever played sax, but I could probably play sax if you set me down with a fingering chart. Just for reference, for people who are not music nerds, a fingering chart is not what it sounds like. I swear. It's just where you put your fingers when you're playing an instrument. But yeah, I'm sure if you sat me down with one of those charts, I could probably figure out the sax. So yeah, I spent a lot of time in band. I was not a fan of football, but I had to sit through it anyway. Because that is life when you are in marching band. I didn't mind the basketball games so much because I could actually kind of follow those. Kinda. But the football, no, I was like, it's hot. I don't like this. Or in the late football season, it's cold. I don't like the fact it's so cold. But a lot of times I was too hot because we had to be in our uniform. So in the earlier season, it's like 80 degrees, especially when I was in Florida. It's like 80 degrees or hotter, you know, in the evening. And you're in this really bulky, thick cloth. And then if you were me and you had a bass drum on top of that, you just have this large object strapped to you, pressing against your chest, insulating you further from any kind of wind. And there was not that much wind in the stands. There was not. I didn't mind basketball season, though, because literally you're just inside for that whole thing, so you have air conditioning. It's not too bad. Also, there's a wild Baneri in the Twitch chat. If you want to try to catch it, you can use ! Pokecatch on the Twitch side. It would be really cool if they had Pokemon community game for YouTube. I do think. Really, YouTube just needs to build out their whole streaming thing, because unfortunately, for anyone who does want to actually like switch, let me just say, the interface is not great. There's no channel points. There's nothing like that. There's no fun stuff. The only really good thing is the fact you can rewind, and Twitch is rolling that out for people who are subscribers or have turbo. So yeah, I will note that. Let me see here. Put back up my Obus. Okay. So over here we have to make the eye mask thingamadoo. So we are going to be copy, paste. We're gonna call this glue. It's the glue. And the way that this is gonna work, I'm gonna kind of remind y'all. We do one of these. We highlight both of those, and then we come in here to the manual. Actually, wait, yeah, back to the manual. We're gonna use one of these because we're just gonna do this, and then we're gonna bring this down so we can actually see what we're doing over here. Also, I'm gonna turn on the display operation. I realized that was not on. Just recently, Mexican Lucha Show did a Pokemon. That sounds actually very fun. That sounds very fun. I would love to see something like that. You know, I don't really like watch a whole lot of entertainment these days, just because, well, I'll let you in on a secret, chat. I've been working on a lot of ducking stuff lately. Like, a lot. I know yesterday I did the charity stream, which was really fun. It was really cool. I have a massive project that I have to get done that I only just technically started, like, the bulk of the work, like, 2 days ago. And it needs to be done in, like, 3 weeks. And it's gonna be like an Alien model size project, if not bigger. So I have even less time to do it. So yeah! I've been super busy. I was super busy. Well, now we've done that, we're gonna go ahead over here. We're gonna click off with just the glue, and then we're gonna do boop, 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 boop. Bam, now we have our glue. We have our glue. Now if you remember the way that we did this over here, we're gonna do a similar thing, but over here. On the glue, we're gonna go ahead over here. And we're just gonna kind of mimic what we did over here. I also realized that there's probably an easier way than just like forcing it down with that. I want to say if I actually brush size is very, very tiny. I want to say if we do this, then in theory we can move things a lot easier. Actually gonna go ahead and test. We're trying this in real time, chat. I don't usually experiment on the stream itself, especially when I'm trying to teach stuff. But oh yeah, that's actually the easier way to go. Before I left it like normal. I actually think I might redo the other side. So we're gonna just first we're gonna turn off the extended interpolation. I've been figuring out how glue works, chat. So extended interpolation causes these little dots here. We're gonna actually turn this into linear. That way we can actually do one of these. We're gonna come down here, we're gonna do that. Actually, I'm gonna go ahead and undo because we want this to be easy to close. So, what we're gonna do, we're actually gonna go ahead over here with the glue. Let's see. Yeah, so this should actually be inverse. This should be... This should be turning... Oh yeah, it's because we don't have anything. Okay, okay. So in theory, we come over here, the glue. Okay, this is not working, and I think I know why. I think it's because of how we glued it. So we're gonna go ahead, let me see here. I also noticed that the little displays for these are a little odd. Okay, let me... Okay, you know what? We're gonna redo this. We're gonna redo this. It's been a hot minute. I'm like looking at it, staring, going, huh. Something's not working right. We're gonna redo this because I literally just did it in front of y'all. Go here, here. I want to say this is the order I clicked them in. Thank you for the hydrate, Hyde. I appreciate it. I had apple cider this morning. I love fall. Fall is fun. Especialmente when you have eggnog. I cannot wait for the eggnog. And don't judge because I'm a duck. It's chicken egg. I'm a duck. We don't eat duck. We eat chicken. Chimpian. Yeah. Yeah. Well, fall. But stand is much better. Can get... I mean, I like apple cider a lot. I like apple cider a lot. I also like eggnog. The stand is much better. I mean, I think I get what you're saying. I am, I'm half asleep right now. I might have taken my meds, but I'm half asleep. I swear that I am a living, breathing duck. I'm not the living dead. I just got that. I slept, but like, at what cost? At what cost? My sleep consisted of, just, how do you say? I fell asleep at like 2, 3, and I had a really busy day yesterday. Besides the charity stream. Here we go. We fixed the glue. I'm gonna just do one of these. Yeah, it was just the order that, like, I clicked them. I'm still learning glue. I mean, I kind of understand it now, but I'm still learning it at the same time. Okay. Now we save. We're going to go ahead here. I did not... Did I? Oh, well, we're gonna do one of these. We're gonna do... Actually, we'll get rid of this one. Because we're gonna actually redo the eye closing on this. Because, as you can see, this moves a lot better. However, we do want to bring down the weight of this brush, because it is a little much. We kind of want this to more evenly bring it down. And I kind of like this like little like fold. It feels a little bit more authentic. A little more realistic. And then we're gonna kind of do. I also realize I did not get rid of this. We don't need this. In fact, it will just get in the way if it's there. So there we go. Because of the style of this model, I'm kind of going to be using the underlying eye as like an eyelash. Creatively. Because there are no actual eyelashes, as I'm sure you've noticed. And you can kind of break and bend the rules a little bit with mascot models, which is one reason I love them. Like on the Psyduck model, for example, and the turkey model, I squish and squash that body so ducking much. And that's not something I would normally do on like a normal, like, person-sized model. I can kind of use like the stronger weight. And now if I grab something else, there you go. You can kind of see it's like a little bit of like a, you know. I kind of loop this up a bit. we can see it a little better. As you can see, it's a nice little loopy. And we can do the same thing over here. And of course we'll be going back in and like changing the eye open a little bit. Peepee duck. I'm gonna take some more of my apple cider. Yeah. I do love apple cider. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm not even gonna lie. It is tasty. I wish I knew how to make it myself at home. Because it's like different from apple juice. Like, although it's very similar to apple juice, it's not apple juice. It's kind of funny. I literally have an apple tree right outside my window. So I could literally just like, you know, reach outside, grab some apples. I do like where I moved to. I moved late last year, for those who don't know. And in the process, I ended up moving near an apple tree. And that has been lovely. We're gonna do the same thing over here. On the clothes, we're gonna kind of mirror this. That's also why I have the grid up, because with the grid, you can actually, like, see about where everything's supposed to be. Now I need to bring the weight of this down. Also kind of bring up the size of the brush. So there is a reason why we're not copying and pasting the eyes over. And that is because when you try to glue things when you copy paste, it is a pain in the ducking tail feathers. Because you try to glue things properly, and it's like, no. You're actually on the wrong side. You're on the wrong side, dude. And so you end up with problems. I am not a fan of that, so I literally just... Let me just kind of redo this. When I'm doing the first part of this, I'm kind of like pulling it. I need to fix the inner eye stuff. It needs to reverse clip. So this is what happens if you don't reverse clip. Chat. Let's see here. Our inverted eye mask. There we go. We don't want this to scrunch up too much, because then it'll look weird and crinkly. Which is also why I use the lower weight and the bigger brush size. Dubious struggle. But yeah, I like to kind of nudge this into place. Oh no, the Chansey got away. That fucking sucks. Yeah, this is just one way you can go about doing, like, eye rigging. Personally, I really like the reverse mask method because you can be super, like, careful with where you're putting things. I'm gonna try to get this to about the same as the other side. I kind of want like a thin line. I'm gonna up the weight a bit. Also gonna decrease the size of the brush. I can fine tune this a bit better. Okay, so we're roughly wanting to end this around there. So this needs to come up just a wee bit. I want this to kind of dip to like that second above. So this is going to kind of a little bit more like this. And then on the other side, this needs to come down a wee bit. So in theory, preview, automatic eye blinking. So this should blink. But it's not, so. Okay, so we are pretty close. I kind of need this a little bit thinner. A little bit higher. Kind of dragging that up a little. Will you blink? Probably not, so we'll do that. Yeah, we'll get a little closer. A little bit more scrunched together. We're gonna do a really cool thing with blend shapes once we get this part done. Because we're gonna use blend shapes on the eye smile. And y'all will see how cool that is. Blend shape weights are something else. So that's just a little bit above, and this is too far above. Hey, wait, who else watches Over the Garden Wall every fall around Halloween? It's like a tradition for me. I like to watch it because, like, it just feels like the right fall show, like, for Halloween. It's so good. Boop. Boop. This is a little bit more looped. Yeah, I really like it. I still remember when I first watched it, I was still living in Florida. I forget how many years it's been. I'd say it's close to 10. How long has it actually been out? Because I didn't watch it the first year it was out. I know that. It was at least a year after I watched it. Like, or after it released that I watched it. Yeah, that needs to kind of come. This is still too curved. Or I could literally curve the other side. I might literally just curve the other side a little more. Down a bit, bring up the... Come back over here. Carefully pushing this shape. This is a little bit unconventional of a way of doing like an eye blink, but it works for this particular model. So if we bring this close, close. Okay, that's looking a lot better, chat. That's looking a lot more clean. Let me compare. This one comes to like right about like the middle of that middle row of squares. This one does not. And comes a little bit lower. And then this one's like the top of the middle square. Okay, so this needs to kind of come up just a wee bit more. And then we'll actually have like a... That should actually be close. This is why I like using the grid chat. Oh god, oh god. That's too much. We moved that too much. I think because the brush weight was too high. There we go. Probably a little better. There we go. I think that's probably gonna be pretty close. Doop. Doop. Yeah. They're sisters, not twins, so... that should be about right. Yeah, that's good enough for me. Because that's like a solid eye blink. So we're gonna save that. And we're gonna do this really, really neat thing. Okay, guys? So we're actually going to edit these parameters to actually be blend shapes. Now there is a reason for it, because we're only going to have it activate specifically when the eye is closed. You could do what I did with this model, and you could leave it as a regular, like, keyform. And then, like, have the ability to, like, smile regardless of whether, like, your eyes are open and closed. But in this particular case, we don't have pudgy cheeks. I wanted to have kind of pudgy cheeks with this model. So. Also, I didn't know the trick when I was, you know. So, I'm gonna come over here, edit this parameter. This is also going to be a blend shape. This one, we're gonna go ahead and key this. So when it's on and only when it's on, we're actually gonna go ahead here. I'm gonna see if I can't use a temporary path deformer. And you'll understand why. I'm gonna start it here. Put it here. Okay, I can't do it like that. So we're gonna just do this the other way. I'm gonna kind of boop, 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 boop. And we're gonna kind of do one of these, chat. And we're bending this little window this way. And now the result looks something a little like this. Kind of bump up that, bring down the size of the brush. We're gonna kind of fine tune. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna go into limit settings for blend shape weights. And you see we're on this blend shape, the smile. We're gonna find LI open. And what we want to have happen is that only when the eye open is closed, it activates. So basically we're gonna use line 3 for this, because when eye open is at 0, we want the smile to be at 100%. But when it's actually open, we want it to be at 0%. So you hit Sorry, Pepper's barking. He barking. So you hit that, right? So you see how this works. And so now you can see it's active while it's closed, right? But when it opens, it goes back to normal. You turn this off, and it's still normal. Either way you look at it. Isn't that so cool, chat? It only activates when it's at 0. So this way, you can have it where like it does like that shape only when it's closed. Now this is important because especially if you have a lot of components in your like eyelashes, for example, and you're trying to make that shape, you don't want to have to go through the hassle of having to like deal with what your eye is doing when you reopen it. Like it just scrambles what's going on if you try to do that without blend shapes. It does not work. So doing it this way, as you can see, we come over here without all the grid lines. And now we have like a little line. Now granted, I gotta kind of pinch out the edges a little bit, but you get the picture. You get the picture. I want to say it's because these are kind of... I'm like looking at like the edges here. I may not be able to use the path of form. I was able to do it before, but I'm thinking like it does something with some of these vertices. So we'll undo this and do it with the brush instead. It's still the same process though, but I don't want the edges here to be scrambled. I think because it kind of folded over itself. But it's still the same process. Still the same process. Oop. Let me see. Actually, I'm going to go back a little further. I'm going to increase the size of this. That's a little too big. But you get the idea. Particularly with the blend shapes. So for this, we're just, instead of doing it the other way with the path deformer, we're just going to do one of these. It's going to be the same concept, just, you know. Yeah, no. I was doing it with the brush too. Although not to the same degree. And I'm wondering specifically, it might have to do with like where these ends are, so let's see. Yeah, I think this is looking better in general. So we'll just continue with the brush. It's okay if it's a little bit clipped just because people are not going to be zooming in. Just, oh my ducking god, if anyone is zooming in on your model like that, I don't know what to tell you, man. There will always be some level of scuff associated with the model. Oh, hi, good morning, Alien, good morning. Hi, how you doing? I hope you're doing well. Ah! Hi. Good morning. I hope you're doing well. Ale. Well then. Also, thank you for the follow, Chibi. I see I've been rotated. I was just showing how glue works. Glue. How y'all doing? For anyone who is new, by the way, which I don't imagine there's gonna be too many new people, but anyone who is new, hi, I'm Lucky. I'm a weird, odd duck. I'm also stuck to the side of my stream right now. Yeah, glue really is the Pandora's box of rigging. I was showing how cool blend shape weights are when, you know, you use them appropriately. They're super effective, like a Pokemon move. Let me just kind of I'm gonna kind of give like a little mini crash course in a moment on the blend shape weights because I have to redo them after my little hiccup here that I had. I think also it might be because I don't have like straight what do you call it? I'll just do that. That should work. Kind of push that out. It's fine. It's okay. It's all good. Oh, and I am back to normal. I usually stream on Sundays, by the way. I did stream yesterday though, and that was interesting. Here, blend shape weight. So we want the smile to only happen when the eye is closed. So we find the L open here. Use line 3. The result is when we close and do that, there we go. We have a little smile eye. When we open it, it goes back to normal. That's how it works. That is how it works. It is so much better than trying to fuss with all the keyforms. But yeah, glue is how we do a lot of things. Fun fact, this model that you were looking at me use right now does not use glue because I had no idea how the duck to use glue before I rigged Olian's model. I'm not even gonna, no lying here. As the kids might say, no cap. I don't know if anyone says that anymore. I feel like that's like a 2004 phrase at this point. But yeah, well, that's how that works. And so that's what we were doing. Oh man. For no cap. But yeah, that's pretty much how it works. It only activates when the eye is closed. If it's even like half open, it just kind of, you know, boop. And then we're gonna go ahead also and add extended interpolation. Oh, I guess we can't now because of the blend shape. Whoopsie. That's fine. Let's do this. We just gotta make sure that this is kind of close over here because we don't want things popping out of place. Doop. Oh yeah, now I remember. It's not even the blend shape. It's literally just because I have the... I did it dumb. Okay, so you have to have at least 3 keyforms and then you can go to ellipse interpolation, and what this does is it makes it move a lot smoother. Instead of a point A to point B, it kind of does like a little bit of like a looped. Kind of like if you've ever seen an animated bouncing ball, how like it like hovers for a little bit in the middle and then drops. animation things. Somehow I create. Sorry for that. Sorry for that, Dazzle. Which, by the way, I always recommend, regardless of what program you're using, always save. Always save, chat. If you don't save, you will lose everything, including your sanity, because you never know when a random freak act of God power outage will happen, and you know, you just lose everything. Everything. Pal's like, what? Need to give you a save, check, redeem. I feel like I save pretty... You know, y'all trained me. Y'all trained me to save. Do you want to know how? Do you want to know how? Do you want to know how? Ah! I see what you've done. I see what you've done. You pulled me back before I could spit out what I was saying. Y'all have trained me to save. Y'all have trained me to save. Because when I was playing crowd control all the time, do you know what I had to do? Do you know? Y'all made me just constantly die. And the only way I could get anywhere is if I saved like every 3 minutes. I could not do anything. I could not do anything, chat. It was all your fault. So I was like, you know what? You know what? You know what? I'm just gonna keep saving. I'm gonna keep saving. You can't delete the progress that's saved. So yeah, that's why we save on this channel. And why I rarely ever forget to actually save. It's never chat. It's always chat's fault. It's always chat's fault. I blame y'all. That is why I save. Because otherwise we run into problems and then I get upset and I am back to normal now. I'm gonna drink some of my cider. We got apple cider. Also, if anyone is in chat and you're not already following Olienne, you really should. She's cool peeps. Very cool peeps. And also commissioned a rig from me. I'm really proud of that rig. I did not know how to use glue before Olienne's model. I'm not even gonna lie. And it was because I had to learn it through VBridger. Yes, VBridger taught me glue. And it's kind of funny because a lot of people who do Live2D always use glue. And I'm like, why are you using glue? I could just throw that into a warp deformer and be done with it. I can use blend shapes and be done with it. Like, why are we doing this? Except then I learned that there's even more functions. Good bot Siri. I learned that there's even more functions to blend shapes than I even knew. Before I was like, oh, I can just use this to make like an easy like catch-all like combination form. And I was like, oh, wait, you can actually use it for very specific circumstances? Yes, that is yes. I like. Is good. Also, any streamers in here, get SiriBot if you're not already using SiriBot. SiriBot is probably the most, like, the single most useful bot that you can possibly get for your channel. The single most useful. It is an amazing bot. It always bunks the scammers and the spammers. Even if they get past your phone verification and everything else, Siri's got your back. This is not a sponsored ad for Siri. Siri's free. Siri the Cannibal Bot does good work for no cap. Best bot. Yes. Yes, best bot. And I can never say bad things about Siri because Siri is the best. And by the way, we do 3-minute ad breaks every hour on this channel. So, in a moment here when the ads start, we will be going to break. This is particularly important news for the YouTube crowd because YouTube don't really have the ads like that. But I'm also not monetized on YouTube, so I don't know. Also, Siri does have random facts about things that you could find out. It's kind of cool. You can even do dad jokes, I believe. Don't do that. 32 months. That is actually kind of cool. I'll see what you're doing there, Hyde. Yeah. And then when we get back from break, we'll just do the smiling on the other eye. Yeah. What's up there? Oh, yep, that is... Back to moonwalking. That animation. I will never get over that. I will never get over that. Ever. I am directly above a thingy. That would be very mean. That would be very mean, Soft Spot. Ah! I should have seen it coming. I really should have seen it coming. It is a good thing I have fairies. Oh my goodness. Oh my... All of the lightning strikes. That is just great. That is great. I'm wondering how many more. We're up to 40 now. I might die laughing. Oh my goodness. This is... You know how hard it is to go up or down? Barry. Barry! No, please. No. Please. How cruel can you... I am... Oh my. What just happened? What just happened? Ah! Go. I said go. I went down the wrong way. I went down the wrong way. Oh my goodness. Yeah, you know, apparently Link is an item or an object. I don't know what's happening. I do not know what's happening. But there's some luminous stone here I can take advantage of. Except, you know, there's a bokoblin there, and I don't trust bokoblins. This looks like too much thinking. This looks like too much thinking. I'm probably gonna leave. I might just have to go to Hyrule Castle. What just happened? Okay. Well, that was terrible. I hoped that maybe I could just, you know, get it to drop there. Nope. Nope. Ah! Oh. Where are you? Where'd he go? Where did Ganon go? Did he just poof? Good times, good times. Y'all might have seen some of those clips of chat doing exactly what I was just talking about before the break. Welcome back, y'all. I hope y'all had a good stretchy, good little mini break. I used the little duck's room, and I drank some more cider. I swear I'm not drunk on cider. It is not alcoholic, but it is delicious. Never play Breath of the Wild? It's actually quite fun. Funny fact, I actually prefer it to Tears of the Kingdom. You know? Tears of the Kingdom is great. It is a fantastic sequel. But if I had to lose one of them, If I can never play one of them again, it would be Tears of the Kingdom. Breath of the Wild is just better. Just better all around. I mean, yeah, it has worse performance, technically. But it is, it's just better mechanics, and you can't cheese everything. You can cheese just about everything in Tears of the Kingdom, and that's what I don't like about it. I like the fact that you actually had to think a little bit harder for Breath of the Wild. You know? Like, trying to figure out how the duck to deal with the, guardians, especially to get to certain towers, because you couldn't just fly over everything, okay? You literally had a very limited amount of stamina, and you could not build things. Spent a lot of hours in Gerudo, though. Talking about, like, Ocarina of Time, or which Zelda? Which Zelda? I love Zelda, by the way. I have most of the games. I have a hard digital copy, even, of, The Legend of Zelda, like the original one. A hard digital copy. It is stored on my Wii U. Nintendo cannot touch it because my Wii U does not go online anymore. Ocarina of... Oh, yes, those are both really good. You know, it's actually kind of funny. I did not used to be into Majora's Mask at all. And it wasn't until I started streaming. It was not until I started streaming that I actually enjoyed Majora's Mask. Yet, Twilight Princess is also up there. It is incredible. I do actually, though, want to learn how to speedrun it because I want to be the one who breaks the barrier on Hyrule Castle early. Because similar to Wind Waker in the speedrunning community, you know how there's like a barrier around Hyrule Castle? Well, they figured out how to skip that in Wind Waker. They have not figured out how to skip that in Twilight Princess because of how the game is built. And I have a problem. Like, I have a serious problem, chat. Any game I touch, any program I touch, does not work as it should. So, yeah. I have a habit of breaking things accidentally. I do mean accidentally. I have not played Wind Waker or anything after that except one of the ES games. But I highly recommend Wind Waker. The Wind Waker is amazing. It is fantastic. I highly, highly recommend it. I actually didn't think I would like the Wind Waker because I got it for my birthday back in 2002? Question mark. And boy, let me tell you, the only Zelda I played before that was Ocarina of Time on the N64 and then the GameCube. I had gotten a GameCube and my dad was like, "You like Zelda. I know you're in like 2nd grade, but you like Zelda, so here you go. Here's a Zelda." And my first reaction to Toon Link was, "What the duck is this? What the duck is this?" Seriously. I don't remember Link being a cartoon. This does not look right. But it turns out it's because I was autistic and I didn't know it. I was very weird about things. For example, when I was a small child, back when Inspector Gadget was like I think it was a toy that was being distributed by fast food place. I think it was like McDonald's or something. I got the arm. Chat. And you want to know what happened? A kid down the block, a few of them actually, had their own parts and they wanted to give theirs to me so I could complete the Inspector Gadget. I cried, chat, because I was like, I just like the one piece. I don't want any other pieces. So I guess I was kind of like that when I went from more realistic shading and textured Ocarina of Time to Wind Waker. It took me a while to actually like get used to it, but eventually I chilled on the autism like crash out. Yeah, that happened. That I did not know I was autistic. I did not know I had ADHD. I was told that I was a very, very smart child. I was put in with the smart kids. I had really good grades until 2nd grade, and that's a whole thing. That's a whole thing. Well, actually it was a little bit before 2nd grade that the crash out happened. But yeah, in 1st grade, my schedule got changed when I got put into a new class for smarter kids because I was reading well above my grade level and getting really good grades. So the teachers were like, we should put you in with the advanced kids. And then we didn't have playground time on Fridays, and I never got good grades again after that until high school. So yeah, autism, but I didn't know it. Nobody knew it. And it was weird because everyone's just like, you just need to apply yourself. And I'm like, bitch! Bitch! Give me my playground. Yeah, Majora's Mask is great, though. I play on Switch. I play it on the Switch because I have the expansion pack. You're smart, so you don't get playtime. Yeah, basically, every Friday in my original 1st grade class, we would go to the playground on the school grounds called Kid Space. It was huge. It was, like, actually huge. Like, you could literally, like, ducking, climb up ropes and everything. And they were like, oh no, we do silent sustained reading time at this time, honey. And I'm like, but why? I like to read, but I would like to play. You know? Then it was, you're better than this, why are you failing? Because I want to play. Basically, it was because my schedule got thrown off, and I didn't know that as a kid. Okay, how is a kid supposed to know that they're going to have an autistic meltdown that lasts for years, literal years, mind you? Because the only classes I got good grades in after that was classes that I was genuinely invested in. Like band. As I mentioned earlier, I played so many different instruments. So, you know, I was not into basically being told to duck off with wanting to have my schedule the same because I was with other kids. I was just like, why? And don't get me started on the because I said so kind of stuff. That always made me so angry as a kid. Well, why does it have to be like because I said so? Okay, that's not an actual reason, okay? Give me a real reason. Really did not enjoy school. The topics were easy to learn because it was just memorization anyway. Yeah, pretty much. Except math. Math was a different beast, but yeah. Yeah, homework and actual grades were low. For me, usually what happened was that I never did homework because of the aforementioned problem of being autistic and also ADHD undiagnosed, mind you. But I would ace my tests. Somehow I would ace my tests, so that's how I managed to not flunk out. I was like, why am I being treated like this? I feel like I don't deserve anything. Turns out no, I do deserve things. I was not actually diagnosed with what I have. Sucked at math, that was because I refused to show it. Yeah, I get that too. For me, it was a little bit different. For me, I could not do Need to kind of squish this back out a bit. Speaking of Ocarina of Time, I just realized the Forest Temple's playing. Like I flunked pre-algebra twice, and then somehow it just clicked for me on the 3rd year. And then I just got an algebra credit for high school, and I was fine. Except then I got into geometry, and that teacher ducking sucked. So then I flunked one of the semesters of geometry. That was not fun. Yeah, I had a time when I was a kid. Autism is one heck of a drug. I will say that much. I did not choose to be autistic, but it kind of impacted like my entire childhood, and I had no idea why. It even affected my video game playing, and I didn't know, which is why I didn't want to play Wind Waker for the longest time, and I actually never beat it until I was in like high school, when I was a little bit more reasonable. The only reason I graduated is because I could get in that. Yeah. Like when I was in 5th grade, I managed to get 96% on the Florida Math FCAT. And I don't know how, because when I was in 3rd grade, I couldn't do long division. Like literally, I was terrible at math. I figured I would have gotten better scores in the language arts one. No, it was the math. It was the math. Somehow, some way. And I think it was stuff like that that was why, like, my teachers were like, you're smart. You should be better than this. You just need to apply yourself. And I'm like, are you serious? Are you ducking serious? Like, seriously. I could not with how the teachers would be like I wanted to be good. I wanted to be the good kid. I did not try to act out. I didn't want to make anyone upset. I did not. But you know, learn everything I need to in Chem 1. Yeah. I also sometimes read my, like, textbooks just ahead of time. Not the math one, obviously. But, like, history, language arts, Spanish especially. Especially Spanish. It's actually kind of funny because I ended up being a tutor for one of my Spanish classmates. I was not fluent at that time, but I was probably the smartest, like, Spanish learner in the class. I remember literally making worksheets for my friend. I was like, okay, this is how this works. This is how conjugation works. You're gonna do this exercise. I should have known that I was gonna end up working in the public school system at some point. Which I did, by the way. I actually did. I ended up working with life skills kids, and that was kind of like my first clue that I was different to me. I was like the first actual clue, I was like, huh. I weirdly understand these kids and their thought processes. Like, I feel like I'm understanding them a little bit more than I should, if you catch my drift. So, I actually confided in the teacher I was working with one day. I was like, Mr. Teacher. I did not call him that, obviously, but I was like, I don't know why, but I think that I might be, you know, and he's like, no. feel like you could be a cool teacher, but I do not like children, so... Yeah... I mean, I like children to a point. Like, I specifically like life skills kids. For the reason I actually just explained. I was like, I understand these kids a little too well, if you know what I mean. I was like, I think I might actually be autistic. And he's like, well, don't worry about it. Like, it's fine. You're fine. I'm like, yeah, but like, also, I might be autistic. So, I mean, maybe. He's like, it's okay even if you are. I'm like, yeah, I know, but like, that changes my entire worldview if I am. Because it explains my whole freaking life. Well, you hate math, want to learn how to start a fire with a few sticks in case you need to survive in the woods. Yeah. I like, actual life skills. They call it life skills now. They used to call it special needs, but they call it life skills now because they're supposed to technically learn, like, life skills for, like, surviving in the neurotypical world that we live in. Which is also, I'm like, I kind of feel like I might be a little bit, you know. And so, that was my first hint. And then when I met a friend in Jersey several years back, she asked the person who I was traveling with, another friend of mine, is Lucky ADHD? Because she shares a lot of the same mannerisms as my current boyfriend who's ADHD. My friend's like, no, I don't think so. She's like, well, maybe she should go to a doctor and see about it. So then when I got back to Florida, I ended up going to the doctor and finding out, oh yeah, you have ADHD. That's pretty clear here. And then later on, when I got to a new doctor, I'd asked point blank, I was like, I gotta know from a medical perspective, am I I'm pretty sure I'm autistic, but can you just confirm for me so I know I'm not going crazy? And he's like, well, why do you want to know? You know that there's, like, no pill that can, like, fix that, right? I'm like, yeah, no, I just want to know that I'm not crazy. So he asked me a bunch of questions, and he's like, I would say it's highly unlikely that you're not. So that's how I found out for sure that I am definitely autistic. But it's alright, because I know how to work with it better now. But back then, I did not. And it affected everything. Even, like, playing video games. The sign should have been there when I realized I really liked Sonic the Hedgehog. I know it's a stereotypical, like, autistic thing, but, like, it's true. It's true. I think because Sonic is so, like, out there, like, as a concept, I think that might be why autistic people kind of flock to Sonic. Sonic. Yeah, everyone should know how to make a fire without modern devices. That is true. That is true. I could probably make one in emergency, but I've never actually been physically taught how to make one. I just know, like, logistically how you would go about making one. But I do know how to forage, so I do know how to do that. I could definitely eat on my own without any kind of help or intervention if I had to. I can identify all kinds of things. It also helps I'm immune to poison ivy, at least for now, because fun fact, if you are immune to poison ivy, do not expose yourself unnecessarily. There will come a point when your body actually loses that tolerance, and then you will be itchy. I don't get that yet, but I fear the day that I do, because I do not want to experience that rash. But I will say, people should also know how to forage and, you know, identify things, because you should really honestly know how to identify different plants, because you never know if something's going to be toxic or not. even just to touch. Like the giant hogweed is a great example. Hello, good morning, Ducky King Lucifer. That is a long name, but good morning. Hope you're doing well. And welcome to the chat. Get tested later on life, and by question 10 out of 100, the neuro guy I was talking stopped me and said that was yeah, well, you know, if you are autistic, I will say you will tend to end up with a wealth of knowledge on something. I'm gonna look for the eye open. I know I've been doing a lot more yapping than I have actually been rigging. But for anyone who is learning the Live2D part, the blend shape weight is so that specifically this only activates when it's at 0. So when the open is at 0, the smile is at 100. And then when it's at 1, the smile is at 0. That's a neat little thing. So now, it's just, boop, even if it's on, it goes back, and it does that. It's a neat little trick with blend shape weights. That's actually how I did Olien's game mode rigging. So like where Olien can push the W key and start walking, or push the S key and then walk backwards, or the shift key and run forwards. That's all blend shape weights. So it has to be under very specific circumstances that it actually activates. And that's how that works. Knowing what plants are good to eat and how to start a fire to cook them, how to field dress small. Yeah, that's a lot of stuff. I don't know how to hunt, and I haven't been trained on how to start a fire, but I know how to find the foods that are necessary for survival. Including mushrooms. Mushrooms are a fantastic source of food. But you do have to cook them. There's very few mushrooms that you can eat raw. Namely, like a few species of like jelly mushroom. I believe that the beefsteak mushroom you can also eat raw. And that one literally looks like just a piece of beef. Like, no joke. It even, like, quote-unquote bleeds. Like, it has, like, a red liquid guttation that comes out of it. It's kind of jelly-like in texture until it's, like, cooked. But it apparently has, like, a beefy taste. I really like chicken of the woods. Chicken of the woods, gram for gram, has more protein in it than actual chicken, and it tastes just like chicken. So it's really just guilt-free mushroom eating. Like, it just tastes like you're eating chicken. And no lives were harmed or lost in the eating of that chicken. Oh my goodness, thank you for the resolving music. Good morning, good morning. I guess it's afternoon now here on the East Coast, but good morning. I'm just talking about autism and also Live2D, but also autism. Oh, I also slept late. I started like an hour and a half ago. Yeah. Whew. Speaking of sleeping in and all that, I just stretched. I am also EP. Yeah, I was just doing the, we got the eye closing. And now, okay, that needs to kind of come down a little bit maybe, or this one needs to come up. I think I'll probably make this one come up. The really cool thing about the blend shapes is that they literally only activate when it's closed. I think I'm probably gonna push the one on that side up a little more. Just a wee... Wrong one. Undo. There we go. That should be better. Oh my goodness, thank you for the resubby dazzle. I really do appreciate y'all more than you know. I don't really have a lot of people I can just, like, hang out with here. Like, I know I have Zyrite. There we go. Now we have, like, a little smiley. It only activates specifically when it's at 0. Now we have working functional eyes. We're not really going to be doing the eyeball movement with this. Like the looking right, looking left, looking up, looking down, like I can with this model. But that's mostly because literally those like little hollows that you see that look like eyelids, that is baked into the body itself. And I assume it's because this is a ghost. It is a ghost kitty. For Halloween. But also we're going to come back over here, select. We need to use extended interpolation on this so it's a smoother close. The way we do this is we have 3 keyforms, ellipse. There we go. There we go. Now it's a nice smooth process with the closing. You can see how that works. Very smooth. Very yes. Now, I do apologize because sometimes I do kind of like jump around a bit. But. Let me see here. I have this set as a... Oh yeah, because this is... I was thinking that was the actual, like, body, like, parameter. I'm like, wait a second. So, undo... I'm gonna see if I can't find the sweet spot for where this should be. Wonder if it should be like this. Try to figure out the exact area. Oh, there's a while in chat. You could try to catch using exclamation point Pokecatch. I think I may as well. Because Mawile is a cool Pokemon. Trying to see specifically. Edit. I'm gonna go a little higher. Because I want it to kind of like rock a little bit. I feel like that's a little too high. So what I think I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead here and I want to do this. We're gonna trying to see actually, you know what? Do I'm gonna actually insert a guideline here because I need to see about where it rocks, right? I'm gonna try to get it like right on the very bottom. There we go. To literally get it like just right. Okay. Because I'm gonna kind of wanna move it over a little bit. So I'm gonna do maybe like -30. And we're gonna kind of do one of these. Okay, so this needs to go a little bit more over. This a little bit more over. I'm trying to get it just right. Or like it looks more like it's rocking. There we go. And we can actually come up here to motion mirroring. Flip horizontally. So it should literally do this. Save. And thank you for the hydrate. I will have more of my apple cider. There we go. So we can actually go ahead and start adding in physics, fun fact. And when I say physics, I mean augmented movement. So we're gonna add, I'm gonna call this, I'm gonna call this Pumpkin Aug Z. This is specifically gonna be like the sideways rocking motion. We're going to add Body Z. I'm going to put that up to 100. And then I'm going to add, first we have to add that. Then we can add also realize that we don't want to put that, we want to put Body Z. Okay. Preview. There we go. Body Z. I'm going to use the right mouse button here. So now you can already see it like starting to rock. But we gotta get this to actually work properly. Yeah. So I'm gonna kind of bring the duration down a bit. And then I'm gonna kind of see where this is. Increase. Let's see where this is. There we go. You see that, chat? We could probably bring the shaking down a bit. So you can see how that works. You can see how that works. I actually might bring up the duration a little bit, bring the shaking down just a bit. So it can like, it can rock back and forth. I might bring this shaking back up to like 0.9. So you see how that works. It's really just a cute little way to do that. Although I do think it needs to kind of go over just a wee bit more. So we're gonna kind of just dupe. And then we're gonna reflect. And increase that. I'm sorry, I have too much fun. I literally am just, I'm amused by my own rocking motion here. Live2D is fun. I like Live2D. Save that. So y'all can understand why I love Live2D so much. It's, you can do silly things with it. I like the fact that you can literally, like, make the kitty cat just rock. So we can actually start on the other stuff now. We don't have the mouth yet. I'll probably do that later. I'm very squirrely when it comes to rigging. I tend to just be all over the place. But hey, we at least got the eyes done. We got like the start of the rocking. We could probably do like the the paws. Let me actually go ahead here. For each of the paws, I'm probably gonna do like the rocking motion first, and then I'm gonna do like physics where like they like bounce a little bit afterwards as well, because they're kind of moving along with the you know, with the body movement. So we can literally do this. We come this way. Temporary deform tool. I do one of those. Over here. Rotation deformer. Out right there. Kind of bringing it up. Probably moving it up a little bit too. That out. So in theory, this should kind of move a little bit more. Yeah, you can see the paw moving a little bit more. But I'm going to make it even more floppy. But after we have done this paw, so the right paw, we're also going to come over here. And once again, we're going to kind of just do a temporary rotation deformer. This a little bit out. And then when we go over here, then bring the rotation deform over here. Up like that. And move up. And now if we come in here, you can see a little bit of movement. It's not crazy. Probably need to move the left paw just a wee bit more. Yeah, I like that. Save. We got that part done now. I realize I'm gonna want to do like paw physics. So we're gonna go ahead here. Replicate. And we're gonna turn this into paw physics Z. And so now we're gonna go ahead here. And we're just gonna do a very similar thing that we just did. Put this about here. Bring it about there. And then we're gonna do about here. And then I'm gonna kind of bring this up. Bring this down, out a little bit. On the other paw, we're gonna do pretty much the same thing, just mirrored. We're gonna kind of rotation. Up. And then the opposite side. Kind of bring this out. Okay, so we have this so far. But we're actually going to add another pendulum. We're going to make this 8.5 as well. 0.9. 0.95. Gonna add in physics Z. I'm gonna kind of rock this a little bit to get to. Boop. You see the little paws? You see how they're moving? And now you understand, chat. You understand. You understand now. This is how physics works. Woo! I love it. I actually love this. This is so cute. I love it. I love it so ducking much. Woo! Hi, guys! Little cat waving at you. So yeah, that's how the pendulum physics work for this. And we'll continue doing this for most of the rest of the model. Had to stretch. Stretchy stretch. Yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and save. Ooh, Wild Pidgeot. I have to try to pokey catch this myself. Ultra Ball. And hopefully we get something. Hopefully we get something good. It would be nice. But yeah. We got the swaying going along. I kind of really like this movement. I'm not gonna lie. So the whiskers are gonna be interesting. I don't want to do the whiskers next because they're also kind of floppy. So, the whiskers, we're going to want to make path deformers. Path deformer basically allows you to kind of move things a little bit more freely. So, we kind of come in here. Boop. Out like that. And, actually, yeah. We're gonna come over here. Oh, hey, we both caught it! Also, I kind of want to extend the canvas, so let me see if I can do that real quick. We're gonna do... There we go. There we go. A little bit easier. You don't have to do that. I just like to do that because, you know. And yes, I am kind of freehanding these. You can technically copy paste them over, but I kind of want to give this one a little bit more of an organic feel. So I'm going to be kind of doing it individually for both sides. And then we got same thing going on over here for these other two. The path deformers are really nice because you can basically just, as you can see, pop them in, and it's not a whole lot of work. Also just gonna down here. So we're gonna kind of come over here. Undo. I do hate the bounding box. If you hit Control H, it does make it go away. Just kind of bringing that down a little. And it's a very subtle move for like the bottom one because it's so tiny. We come back this way though. We kind of want it to settle over the other way. So we're gonna do Control H. Middle one, Control H. And then the small one. Slight unbend. Now we should see a slight difference when we go this way. But there's a very slight difference. You don't really notice it because it's just the one, just for the angle. But we can actually go ahead. Create folder. And put this up here. Label color. Maybe like a lavenderish color. And we're gonna call this Whiskers. Now, I really love to use blend shapes for physics because you can adjust them pretty well. A fun fact with Ollien's model, I adjusted it so that some of the blend shapes angles, like specifically on like angle Z, which is like this motion, were subdued. Specifically like with the hair and stuff when the hood's up because it can't physically swish all the way over, you know? So with the blend shape weights, you can actually set it to where it's quote unquote less effective, which is really, really nice. So we're gonna go ahead, create parameter. I'm gonna call this whisker is D1. Whisker is D1. Ooh, I got hiccups. I'm making a maximum of 5, minimum of -5. It's gonna be a blend shape. We're gonna replicate this. We're gonna make this a 2. Now, if you're wondering about like the minimum and maximum with the parameters, technically it's arbitrary, but technically it's not. And what I mean by that is it depends on how exactly you set it in relation to the other settings for physics. I want this to be kind of a smaller movement, so I'm using a smaller number. So this is going to allow a lot more of a swishing motion. So we already did like the Z here. Which actually, what I'm gonna probably do, instead of having like a separate angle for these, is I'm going to change these over to Z1. They should have gone to Z1. Okay, let me, oh, I know what it is. It's because it's 30. You know what? We'll just keep this here. Just keep this here. It is fine. It is all fine. I realize I can't actually change them because then I have to change where they actually are in the blend shape, and I don't want to do that. So we're just gonna have 3 things here. So for when it goes like this way, give me just a second. I have to check something here. Oh, how is it I have no snoozes on my ad breaks? I don't understand how Twitch does this. How Twitch decides this. I never hit snooze. I know sometimes I'll like literally start streaming. It'll be like, you have only 2 out of 3 of your snoozes left. And I'm like, why? Cool. I guess we'll have an ad break after, is time. So when we go this way, we want this to kind of... Actually. This is going to be a broader motion. So we're actually going to start with the end first. A little bit easier. And the broader motion. We're going to remove the bounding box again. Why am I doing it this way? Okay, you know what? This should actually go reflect. When we go up this way, I'm like, why am I doing it that way? Because I'm thinking about left, right, left, right, left, right. But yeah. That's this way. Could actually probably use the temperature rotation deformer for this. Just make it go a little bit more like that. More of a curl. Okay. Up. We're gonna do this on the mid whisker as well. Here. I'll go ahead and a temporary deform tool here to kind of boop. I forgot for a moment that I could use that. This is how you know that I am still waking up even though it's like 1 in the afternoon. Holy duck, it's 1 in the afternoon, guys. Where did the time go? That's gonna be that end. Come up. Top whisker. Boop. We got. Trying to do it before the ad break. Trying to do it before the ad break. Oh, duck. Oh, duck. Have to be on the actual frame, like the blend shape specifically that you want it to work on. Okay. Boop. And then bring that down, and we should be good. Now y'all can actually see when I come back from break, when we come back from break shortly, how the physics are set up for this. we're gonna go ahead here and whisker is Z. Have 2 pendulums. Gonna add in the Og body. And of course I'll yeah, if you have Twitch Turbo or you have a sub, you're able to rewind now. It's a new feature that they're rolling out. Yeah, we'll be right back. What's up there? Oh, yep, that is back to moonwalking. That animation. I will never get over that. I will never get over that. Ever. I am directly above a thingy. That would be very mean. That would be very mean, Softspot. Ah! I should have seen it coming. I really should have seen it coming. It is a good thing I have fairies. Oh my goodness. Oh my... All of the lightning strikes. That is just great. That is great. I'm wondering how many more. We're up to 40 now. I might die laughing. Oh my goodness. This is... You know how hard it is to go up or down? Barry. Barry! No, please. No! Please. How cruel can you... I am... Oh my. What just happened? What just happened? Ah! Go. I said go. I went down the wrong way. I went down the wrong way. Oh my goodness. Yeah, you know, apparently Link is an item or an object. I don't know what's happening. I do not know what's happening. But there's some luminous stone here I can take advantage of. Except, you know, there's a bokoblin there, and I don't trust bokoblins. This looks like too much thinking. This looks like too much thinking. I'm probably gonna leave. I might just have to go to Hyrule Castle. What just happened? Okay. Well, that was terrible. I hoped that maybe I could just, you know, get it to drop there. Nope. Nope. Ah! Oh. And we are back. In other news, I have a puppy in the bedroom now. So... if we have random distractions or interruptions, you know who you can blame. Oh, you're gonna go drink his water. Oh yeah. Hope y'all had a good break. We're gonna make the whiskers move now. So... I want to bring that down a bit. It's not an exact science, I will say. You kind of just figure out specifically what works for you and your model in particular. We're gonna come in here, we're gonna do the 2 whisker physics. Okay, so they definitely need to be upped. We want to see. Oh, there we go. You see it? You see it, chat? Probably need to do a little bit more for that bottom one, but you can see the whisker physics. So for the bottom one, let's see here. We could probably... This could probably go a little bit higher. Go ahead over here and just do one of these. There we go. So when we come back in here... Hello there! How are you, Aman? We're making this cat move. It's a little bobbly dude. You see? And then the whiskers got like a little bit of like a bounce to them. Not crazy amount, but you know, is there. I also have a puppy behind me on the floor. He heard me leave to the bathroom to use the little duck's room, and was like, hello mother, I require attention. Yeah, I love how cute this is already looking, with even just like a little doo 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 doo. And we just gotta do the other side for the whiskers. But you can kind of see how easy it is to rig like a little mascot dude. It's not that bad. If you are an artist, I highly recommend giving Live2D a try. Just saying. You'll never know how cute or cool your stuff can look until you have tried it. You will never know until you try. So I highly recommend, even if you don't think you can. Because as a reminder, chat, I once had an extremely scuffed duck. I once had the most scuffed duck ever. This was the scuffed duck. This was the scuffed duck, guys. I didn't know what I was doing either. It's okay to not know what you're doing. It's okay to not know what you're doing. So this is exactly why I say, just try it. Just try it. You never know. And you learn over time. And you get better. I promise. As long as you actually try. Like if you just look at it and then you open it and then you go, this is too overwhelming, and you're not going to get better. But you have to actually like try. But pretty much everyone who I've known who's like actually tried has like actually been able to kind of grasp it, even if it's a little hard. Like I know Zyrite, she made this little dude. I'm just doing the rigging because I know how to do the rigging. But she made the art for it, and she couldn't have made the art for this if she didn't have a whole bunch of hiccups with her original attempt. Which was the chibi dragon that I tried to rig like 2-3 years ago before I knew what the duck I was doing. And I tried to stream that and it didn't go very well. I am acknowledging it, but only right now. Eventually that dragon will be rigged, I'm sure, but she has to like fix some of the problems with the cutting. But even just like a little bit of like movement here is really, really cool. I do need to link the eye blinking, I realize. Parameter, eye blinking, and lip sync. So this is an important menu because you have to like link your eyes. I realize I hadn't linked that. Open. There we go. There we go. So now Pumpkin Kitty, yes. Now you can see the blink. And of course we can also change this so that the eyes are smiling. I had forgotten that you have to actually, like, set up the blinking. That is a thing. So yeah, you can see it blinks perfectly fine. We got a little bit of jiggle. A little bit of movement, you know? Now we just gotta do the other whiskers. Which I'm gonna do manually as well, because why the duck not? It's not that big of a deal. So I'm gonna go ahead here. Doop, 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 doop. Come over here to the middle whisker. Doop, 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 doop. And then the top whisker is gonna be doop, 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 doop. Whiskers. Whisker, whisker. Now these are gonna kind of be opposite to over here, because while this goes this way, this is actually gonna come down. So if we come here, although actually before we even get to that, we should probably do the body Z. That's also gonna be just like a little bit. It's not gonna be a lot. It's literally gonna be like a tiny little thing. Nothing crazy. I'm gonna probably do all of these over here. Just a slight angle change. It's nothing crazy. For blend shapes, unlike with keyforms, you can actually have a duck ton of parameters keyed specifically for blend shapes. You don't really want to do that with keyforms because you will cry. You will actually cry. Oh. I realized I did not actually key that one. Undo. Undo. Redo. Lower. Okay, we have to redo that. Just a little bit of a bump. And we come back over here. We kind of middle whisker. Kind of bump that up a little. Top whisker. Just more of like a boop. And now for the actual physics. For this, I'm gonna just be doing the rotation temporary deformer. So this is gonna come down this way. And this one's gonna come the other way. And then down here is gonna be more of the kind of bending this the opposite way. And then we do that for the other ones. So we're gonna go ahead and do rotation. Once again, you have to actually have it on the right blend shape form. If you don't, you run into problems. That the other way. I also feel like doing this manually for both sides is going to look a little bit more organic. Than just copy pasting. Although copy pasting is definitely really fun and easy to do. I may end up doing that with the ears, because the ears are going to be a little bit more involved. Do not mind the squeaks. I'll leave it about there. Then... It's okay if there's like a little weird bend, because that's kind of how they would end up moving, like, in real life. So, yeah. I'm gonna go ahead here. We're all the way lowered. Use the rotation deformer. Temporary rotation deformer, I should clarify. And then the opposite way. And then for this, it's just gonna be like a little extra bendy. Up the other way. There's a wild dweeble in chat you could try to catch using exclamation point pokecatch if you are on the Twitch side. There we go. There we go. Okay. Are you all ready for the moment of truth? Ready, chat? We go in here to the physics settings. Got the little whiskers moving about. Yeah. We could even go up here and be a little extra silly. And I can physically make it move myself. Yeah, I like that whisker movement. It's just very, very subtle. And you can even see, like, it matches, like, if I'm smiling or not. Now, it's not talking yet, so you can't see it. But, you can see the control over the eyes and the little wibbly wobbly. Wibble wobble, wibble wobble. Boop. I'll need to also move, like, the whole body, too. Because that's gonna be a whole thing. But yeah, we actually got a decent amount of movement today. Holy duck, it's been about 2.5 hours. I did get started a little bit later today, so I will have to wrap up a little bit before I wanted to, because I do have some things I have to get done. I have things that I promised to have done for my project tomorrow, and I can't show that stuff on stream, unfortunately. That and also cookies. I need to bake cookies, and I need to do it while I have energy, like, left in me. I promise, chat, if you are on the Discord, I will share pictures of the cookies. I will show you the cookies, and you may eat them with your eyes. With your eyes. But I do think that's going to probably be it for today. I'm going to go ahead and finish up over on the YouTube side. There we go. Thank y'all for coming. I will be back on Sunday, I would say. I'll post the waiting room once I got it prepared. And then, yeah. And for the Twitch side,